Group by clause is used in queries to group by rows with identical values. If we use group by clause alone, it works the same exact way as distinct clause. Compared to distinct, it does not offer any performance advantage. However, it offers a more intuitive syntax, and the same as distinct, it can be applied on more than one columns. The first example you see here is the one we discussed in the distinct lecture. We are selecting the unduplicated list of last names stored in the student table. Now, if we want to rewrite the same query with group by, the result will be select last name from student, and now after the from clause, we have a group by clause, and then the column name, and then we have order by at the very end. You can see that we are using the same values we used in the previous video, and we have many instances of some last names stored in the student table. Now if we apply the distinct clause, you can see that we only have one instance of each last name listed in the results set. Now if we repeat the same query with group by, so we get rid of distinct and add the group by clause, we get the same exact results here. Now going back to the example with more than one column, we can do that by listing first name and last name columns after select distinct. If we want to do the same thing with group by, we just need to remove distinct clause and then list both first name and last name columns before group by. I'm still using the same modified data set in which I duplicated the student name John Albert. As you can see, we have two rows with the same first name and last name. So now if we do this with the distinct clause, it's going to get rid of the second copy of John Albert, as you can see here. And if we want to rewrite this using group by, we just need to remove distinct and then add a group by clause, first name and last name, and the rest of the query will be exactly the same, and the results will be identical to the previous query. It is important to note that the order by which we list columns after the group by clause doesn't really matter. So if we swap first name with last name and vice versa, the result will be exactly the same. However, for order by, as we discussed before, the order by which the columns show up after the order by clause actually matter.